Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. I hope you're doing very well this morning. Lots to get into. We've got a Frenkie de Jong update. I've also got a really big exclusive update on a midfield target that I think many of you would really like to sign for Manchester United. So we'll be talking about him very soon as well. I didn't know whether it was live there, but I actually am, which is great. So how are we all doing? We've also got some interesting quotes coming out from numerous outlets in relation to Erik ten Hag this morning. But we will start off with this story about Frenkie de Jong, and then I'll give you the big update which I've got on the screen for you there. On time again, 10 o'clock every weekday morning, we will be live. And welcome very much to the show. So let's put this up on the screen for you. It's from Chris Wheeler in the Daily Mail. He says that Frenkie de Jong is one of Manchester United's top targets, but they made it clear to Barcelona and de Jong's representation that they cannot commit such a slice of their transfer funds to sign him. So look, the latest on Frenkie de Jong, that fits in perfectly with what we know. Manchester United are interested in Frenkie de Jong. Barcelona are interested in selling Frenkie de Jong because they need to raise money. Manchester United effectively saying that we are not going to be held to ransom on this. We've had stories about Barcelona trying to say that they're going to try and raise money in other ways so they can buy players and keep de Jong and others. But the reality is, why have they not done that already? If they can do that, fair play. But I still think that this is Barcelona trying to get, as is their right, as much money as they can. Because if they get 75 million for de Jong from us, that's 75 million they can reinvest in the squad. If they get 60 million, that's 15 million down. So they're trying to get as big a price as they can. And I think United have basically gone in and done what I said last weekend. Not because I said it or anyone agreed with that. I think United have gone in and said, you're desperate for money. You don't want to sell de Jong. He doesn't want to come. We've got to persuade him to come and pay you the privilege of doing that. We are doing you a favour. Nobody's looked at it like this. De Jong wants to stay at Barcelona. Barcelona don't want to sell him, but they have to sell him. And United are meant to come in and go, yeah, we're going to pay top dollar. We're going to give you 75 million quid for a player that doesn't want to leave, that you don't want to sell, but you need to sell because you're in financial issues. Hold on a minute. We're doing you a massive favour and you want us to pay a massive fee. How's about this? We're going through a rebuild. He was never part of our plans. If we're going to get de Jong, 60 million or forget about it. You've got 60 million. You can go and get Lewandowski. You can go and get Rafinha. You can go and do what you need to do. You clear his wages as well. If you want to do the deal, do the deal. And I think that's what's happening. And I think Barcelona are pushing it and United are sticking to their guns. And look, I never expected United to sign de Jong. I still think it will happen. I'm still 75% sure at the moment because there's not really been a major update one way or the other. But it might not happen. It might not happen. But I do think United are right to hold firm because people seem to forget, yes, de Jong's a really good signing for Manchester United, but we are doing them a big favour and we've got to do a big job in convincing a player that doesn't want to leave. I will keep saying this though. Welcome to the Members Club, Samuel. I will keep saying this. I think some of our fans are getting really over the top about persuading a player to come to Manchester United. Oh, if you've got to persuade him to come to Man United, forget about it. Forget about it. But I'll keep telling you this. Roy Keane was going to sign for Blackburn Rovers on the Friday. Sir Alex Ferguson spoke to him over the weekend. He signed for Man United on the Monday. He told Kenny Dalglish at Blackburn Rovers he was going to sign for Blackburn Rovers. Kenny Dalglish went on a golfing weekend, came back on the Monday, and signed for Man United. So you can persuade somebody who you don't think is coming to the club. I've not got no problems. I don't think people seem to realise we're not kidnapping Frenkie de Jong and we're not forcing him to come to United. He'll either say no or he'll say yes. And if we persuade him to say yes, I'm happy with that. Beyond me how anyone could turn down Laimer and de Jong pairing, they'd be revolution to our midfield. I'd take them in a heartbeat, says Lee. I know I mentioned Sergio Dest in my audition tape. Now there's a story from 90 Minute Lincoln as to him. Get him, says Jimmy Garner. And could we actually trade Rashford for de Jong? We can use the 60 million on another target. If not Rashford, we could use other players in a trade, says Ken. Well, Ken, I think you make a good point there. Thank you, Ken. But ultimately, the trade would not work for Barcelona. They want the peas. They want the cash. They want the money. They don't want a swap deal for Rashford. They want the money because they owe money. They've got money to play by the end of June. Otherwise, they're in big trouble. So they've got debts to pay. They also want other players. They want Lewandowski and Rafinha. So if we did a straight swap, Rashford for De Jong, that wouldn't solve Barcelona's problems at all. So they need the money. So yeah, I mean, you could do that if it was a normal transfer, but this is all about the money for them. Of course it is. Hi Mark, I think you should do a show with Van Gaal and Ten Hag. A lot of similarities. 13 players left on a free for Van Gaal. 6 came in. Now 6 is a minimum. Says Shah. Thank you very much for the super chat there. So right, look, that's the latest with De Jong. I'm not going to dwell on it any more than that. I think United are standing firm, and that is the situation. I'm not going to change where I am. I'm still 75% sure that this deal will happen, but we will have to wait and see what happens over the next coming weeks and, well, hopefully not months. That's what I would say. I think we need to get some resolution on this. But as I keep saying, and as I think many people are hinting in the press, you've got to get past Sunday. You've got to get past what's going on Sunday first. What league are we going to be in? Who's going to get relegated? These things are going to be really important. Right, this is a bit of an exclusive I've got for you. Juno just says, I just finished watching your De Jong versus Matic comparison. Incredible analysis. I'm really hoping we get them. He would be our replacement for Pogba. Thanks, Juno, for that lovely message. If you are a member, you can check out the video, our latest exclusive video, which is a comparison of De Jong, Matic, and actually Rodri, looking at deep diving into their game. Passes forward, aerial ability, tackles, things like that. It's a really good video. Check it out on the members exclusive playlist, which is on the homepage as well. Click the join button if you want to become a member, like Chunky Chunks is. Also, if you are a member, go to the community tab, because this week's video is being recorded today. The votes are in. You can vote for which one you want. I can't remember what the choices are, but I definitely think one of them is Neves versus Calvin Phillips. But yeah, check that out. Right, got a bit of an exclusive for you now. So you may remember that we, well, you will know if you're interested in transfers. Christian Volk, German journalist, very close to Bayern Munich transfer news. So I got in contact with Christian last night, and I just wanted to have a bit of a chat about what was going on. He was very happy about Eintracht Frankfurt winning, and obviously very, very good penalties. Typical German efficiency. I know most of the penalty takers weren't German, but they're a German club coached in Germany, so it's about how they approach penalties. That's what my point was. But, so, I asked Christian, who is close to Bayern Munich as a journalist, what is the situation with Konrad Laimer and Bayern Munich? And is there an opportunity for Manchester United? And the genius of this is that the question is about Bayern Munich's intention, because they are linked to Laimer, and that may give us an indication about Manchester United. Welcome to the Members Club, Glenn Gleeson. So I can tell you what Christian said. He said that Laimer is one of the top topics for Bayern Munich. There are already talks with his agents, but Leipzig don't want to sell. The prize would be a minimum of 20 million euros, but because Leipzig have lost Nagelsmann, Upamecano and Sabitzer over the last summer to Bayern, they are not keen on selling another player to Bayern Munich. For Laimer, the Premier League is a big dream, so there is a chance for United. That was the update. So there we go. I mean, look, is it groundbreaking news? No. But it's a little bit more on a player that is available for £20 million, 20 million euros, sorry. So at most £20 million. Welcome to Members Club, Glenn Gleeson and Jacob. At most, he's available for £20 million. He's got 1 year left on his contract. And he's a midfielder who is 24, who is very used to playing in a midfield too with a high pressing line. His dream is to play in the Premier League. He's Austrian. And he plays for RB Leipzig, who Rangnick's got good connections with. I mean, I just think Konrad Laimer, or however you pronounce it, Laimer, it's not Laimer, is absolutely perfect for Manchester United. And at the moment, we are tentatively linked to him. But I think we should be all over it. All over it. So I'll repeat again. Spoke to Christian Volk, very good journalist around German football and especially Bayern Munich. Asked him about Bayern Munich's interest in him because they are the favourites to sign him. He said, yes, there has been talks with the agent of Konrad Laimer, but Leipzig don't want to sell to Bayern Munich because they've lost so many players. They'd rather sell elsewhere, and that Laimer dreams of playing in the Premier League. Well, that's a deal that's on a plate. That deal is on a plate for Manchester United. Now, do I think we're going to do it at this moment in time? No, I don't. I think it's more of a fan fiction Remember, we used to talk about Fabinho when he was at Monaco, what a good signing he would be. We never went for him, and Liverpool got him. I think in this case as well with Konrad, a great signing for Manchester United for many reasons. I like him as a player. I think he'd be brilliant in the Premier League, and he's literally £5 million more than we spent on Dan James. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. And in a summer like what we've got, where we need to bring 2 midfielders in, imagine if we don't... I mean, what I'm thinking here is, imagine if we don't get De Jong. Forget De Jong for a minute. Imagine we don't get De Jong for 60, 70 million, yeah? And we get Calvin Phillips, who's relegated, for 35, and we get Laimer for 20. You've spent 55 million and you've got Phillips and Laimer in your midfield. In some ways, is that not better than getting De Jong anyway? I mean, do we need De Jong in the Europa League and in a rebuild? He is a bit of a cherry on the cake signing. I mean, I'd love to get him, but he is a bit of an elite signing in a team that's rebuilding. You could save 10 million and get Konrad Laimer and Phillips for the price that you would get De Jong. And it's there to be done. But at the moment, I don't know. Steve Hawke, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for... Oh, no, Steve Hawke's just gifted 5 memberships. Steve, you're a legend. Thank you very much. I'm sure people in the chat will be saying thank you as well. And welcome to the Members Club, Hirade. So I don't know what people's thoughts are on that, but that is an exclusive update from Christian Falk, who is the Bayern Munich... and he's a journalist very close to Bayern Munich. He's a German journalist. And watching from Alaska, says The Last Frontier. Thank you very much. But yeah, I think that it's an interesting update on a target that fits what we need, fits the style of football that Ten Hag wants to play, has 1 year left on his contract, so 20 million quid, and he's so energetic as well. I mean, look, there's no guarantees he would adapt to the Premier League, but he is so energetic and good on the ball. I think it would be a really good signing for United. But we'll have to wait and see if anything happens with it. But it is a deal that can be done. I think that's the most important thing. Bayern Munich are struggling to get the deal done. And United could easily slip in there and do something about it. Right, Sky Sports have come out with an update. Erik Ten Hag will have a decisive say on all recruitment matters, furthered by the extensive changes to the club's scouting department. Just a few updates coming in from Sky about Ten Hag. He said that they say that Ten Hag's energy and enthusiasm in wanting to get stuck in and steer Man United strongly ahead of the new campaign, despite not officially starting work yet, has impressed the hierarchy and it has been described as authoritative and clear in how to implement his vision. Also, Erik Ten Hag and Mitchell van der Gaag will hold discussions over recruitment and Manchester United's wide-ranging overhaul of operational structures at their Mayfair headquarters in London on Thursday. So, look, I don't know whether we're going to get an update in relation to Erik Ten Hag anytime soon in relation to an official interview. I'd like to see that, but I think it's really encouraging that we've got a manager that is raring to go. I think under David Moyes, we had a situation where he didn't start until July. He came in, made big mistakes, and thought he could fill Sir Alex Ferguson's shoes just by doing what he did at Everton, and it went really, really wrong. Obviously, David Moyes was still managing until the end of May for Everton, and then he took June off. But Erik Ten Hag, I think it's logical, but it's not always expected. What were your thoughts on Ndika last night, says Z? I thought he played very well, the Eintracht Frankfurt centre-back. I don't know whether in for him, but I thought he played well. Stephen Cherney, welcome very much to the Members Club. Yeah, so I think that Erik Ten Hag doesn't have to do what he's doing, but if I was him, I'd do it. I'd finish that Ajax job on the Sunday and I'd be in Manchester on the Monday, or working on United on the Monday, because it's the biggest job of his career. He's under so much scrutiny. Nobody's under more scrutiny than a Manchester United manager. So why would you wait until July? Use these next 6-7 weeks to hit the ground running, and you know what? Whilst Pep's on holiday and Klopp's on holiday, which they deserve to be, Ten Hag's going to be working. He's got a lot of catching up to do. Zane, with a very generous super chat, says, Arteta out. Mark, we will have a better transfer window with Jesus, Hazard and Sterling coming in. Ten Hag has not proved it yet. Don't get too carried away. Plus, we will have a 300 million budget in the summer, says Zane. Okay, well, I'm interested to see what other clubs do, not just Arsenal, but Chelsea, Spurs, Villa, Newcastle. It's going to be a very competitive transfer window, which is why United can't snooze. How many new players is it realistic to expect before the team goes on tour, says Chris Judge? Well, I did a video on this on Tuesday night saying that United have imposed a transfer deadline on themselves, and so has Erik ten Hag, that they want to get their business done by the end of June. And the reason they want to get it done by the end of June is because everybody's starting afresh with ten Hag early July for pre-season, so it'd be ideal to have the players there as well. What ten Hag doesn't want to do is be having his first 2 weeks with players that are new to him, and then 2 weeks later 2 or 3 new signings come in who've got to learn all over again. So ideally he wants everyone going on the tour who's going to be part of his early season plans. The big question mark is that Manchester United quick transfers don't go together, and also at the start of July there's still 2 months of a transfer window left. Can you honestly say, when the team comes back at the start of July, right, we've bought 2 players, we're not buying anybody else because we want a settled team? You can't ignore what's going to happen in the next 2 months. There might be some bargains in August. There might be some, he trains some players and says, I really need to get rid of him. So I think we will do business in July and August. I do think we will. But ideally, I think they want the key signings in for the tour. And therefore, can we do 3 signings before we go on tour? We're going on tour in about 7-8 weeks. I definitely think we'll sign somebody in early June. Will we sign 2? Will we sign 3? This is the challenge that I can't answer and only United can. So we'll have to wait and see. DXL VN, thanks for becoming a member there. Michael Knighton, a board member, recently did an interview saying Glazers would sell for the right price and if the right suitor is found, says Will Lloyd. Really hope Rangnick might push for a Laimer-esque signing when he chats to Ten Hag at the end of the season. Fingers crossed, says Sam. I think if they were in for Laimer, or however you pronounce it, then we would already be working on that. So hopefully we are, because there is a deal there can be done. As I said, a bit of an exclusive there. Hi, is there a deadline for audition video? Can send it on Saturday. Send it on Saturday, Adam. That's fine. Welcome to the Members Club, Ian Hobbs and Braden Barnett. Thank you very much. So got a few more updates to go through. Thanks for all the chats that are coming in on the morning show. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. You're all very welcome. We've spoken about Manchester United holding firm on their transfer fee for Erik ten Hag. We're also not Erik ten Hag, Frenkie de Jong. United don't want to spend 75 million pounds on de Jong. They want to spend 65 million on de Jong. Barcelona want more, and I think United quite rightly are saying, look, he doesn't want to leave you. You don't want to sell him. You need the money. We're doing you a favour. We want a cut price deal. And I think United are right to do that. And as I said, if they say no, what's better for United? De Jong? In fact, we'll run a poll on this. What is better for United? So let me get this doing. Well, we're doing it on the hop, but we don't mind. What is better? De Jong for 65 mil. Phillips and Laimer for, let's say, 65, which it probably would be around that. Mark, I think next season is going to be very hard by looking the Spurs. Sorry, what was that? By looking at Spurs and Arsenal also becoming good, it's going to be very interesting to see Ten Hag ball, says Jash. Mate, with all due respect to Spurs and Arsenal, we've had a terrible season. Our worst ever Premier League season. I don't think we're far off Spurs and Arsenal. We've been absolutely shit. I know there's a 10-point gap between us and Arsenal and Spurs at the moment, but we have been so bad this season. I expect us to be able to deal with Arsenal and Spurs next season, to be honest with you. I really do. So yes. So De Jong, United holding firm on the price. Konrad Laimer, Leipzig, 1 year left on his contract, available for 20 million euros. Bayern Munich want him, but Leipzig don't want to sell to Bayern. Laimer's dream is to play in the Premier League. Leipzig, Austrian. There's a deal there to be done. A specialist in playing in a midfield too. A specialist in playing in a high-line, high-pressing team. I mean, who wants to do that? Erik ten Hag. I think it'd be perfect. A really, really perfect signing. But the poll's good. Would you rather take De Jong for 65 million or would you rather get Phillips and Laimer for 65 million? And I think, you know what? 61% of you are going with the 2 players over the 1. There's no doubt De Jong's better than all of them. It's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. Right, let's move on to our next topic. You should be able to see it on the screen. Erik ten Hag is expected to attend the final game against Crystal Palace in London live and then head to Manchester. That's from Mike Verwell, who's been very good over Erik ten Hag's recruitment to Manchester United. He's a Dutch journalist, very close to Ajax. So Erik ten Hag expected to be at the game on Sunday. It's not definite he's going to be at the game on Sunday. He's in London at the moment. So he'll probably spend a few days in London, actually, away from Carrington. I think that's a good idea. Not, leave Rangnick to manage the team. And then after Sunday, go and meet some of the players. Maybe go and meet Ralph Rangnick, etc. Is it good that he's in the crowd on Sunday? The cameras will be on him if they are. It might just give some of the players a bit of a boost, a bit of a kick up the backside. So I would prefer he was there, but I can also understand if he's not. We'll have to wait and see. And then Mike Verwell goes on to say that Manchester United is looking to invest more than 140 million to give Ten Hag the bright start. The names of a number of Ajax players, Timber, Anthony, or former Ajax players like Frenkie de Jong are on the table, but not everything will be feasible. So again, another story. And the interesting thing about this is that this is not coming from, I don't know, a Fabrizio Romano or people I've spoken to, or a Rob Dawson or a Laurie Whitwell or a Simon Stone. This is not coming from those people. This is coming from Dutch sources, which is what Mike Verwell is. And he is, again, verifying what we hear, that Manchester United's transfer budget, welcome to the Members Club, Paul Adams, Manchester United's transfer budget is around 140 million, which is about 140 million euro, which is 125 million pounds, which is what we just keep hearing. Liam Tim, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Now, I've pinned a video at the top of the live chat for you to watch straight after this. I put it up this morning. It's only a 5-minute video, and it's called Erik ten Hag's Dream Transfer Window. 5 players I think United should sign that I think Erik ten Hag would want, and we spend 125 million. Watch the video. It's only 5 minutes long. You'll say, how do you buy 5 players for 125 million? One of them is actually De Jong. So you'll be like, how do you do that? But obviously it includes sales as well. It's a very realistic summer. It's not, I think some people go, sell Rashford and Maguire for 900 million and buy Messi and Mbappe. It's not like that. It's very logical. So check it out. I've pinned the link at the top of the chat in a minute. You can go and check it out. But it does work to the 125 million. And I think if you are trying to figure out a hypothetical transfer window this summer, I would work to the fact that United are going to give Ten Hag 125 million quid to spend. But it's not just that. You can spend more if you sell. So if you've got 125 million and you sell Eric Bailly for 15 million, you've got 140 million. And that's how it will work. Ten Hag needs to look at that squad. And this is why when I did that video yesterday saying Ten Hag must not do this, 3 things he shouldn't do. One of them was, don't give too many second chances. As fans, how many players would you give a second chance to at the moment? For me, not a lot, because it's not a second chance. For some of them, it's a 4th, 5th, 6th chance. And also, that season we've just watched is abysmal. Like, I've literally seen players being paid a lot of money, coming off the bench in Manchester derbies, walking around. At Anfield, walking around. Loads of them. So, second chance, jog on. When you wear that shirt in those types of games, there's no excuse to walk around and not put any effort in. So I wouldn't be giving some of these players second chances anyway. On top of that, you've got all the dissenters, all the backstabbers, all the leakers who've not been being picked. So there's a number of players that just do not deserve a second chance. And Erik ten Hag cannot give them a second chance because he's only got 125 million. Now, Lincoln fans will be going, oh, I wish. But for Manchester United, it's not a lot of money for a brand new manager who needs a whole new team. So he's got to get that 125 million up to 200 million, which means he needs to raise 75 million pounds in sales. You can't do that if you're handing out the second chance lottery. He's got to walk in and go, there's a 15 million pound player sale. There's another 5. There's another 10. Oh, there's a 35. I've got my 75 now. 200 million to spend. He can do it. It won't be easy, but he can do it. A lot of people talk about Anthony Martial going. He's had 3 injuries in his time at Sevilla. He's desperate to leave Man United, but is there a club out there desperate to pay Anthony Martial the ridiculous wages that we're paying him, which is rumoured to be about 250 grand a week? Is there any club that can afford or is stupid enough to give him 250 grand a week and then give us 30 million? Martial is a bloody nightmare of a player to sell because his wages are ridiculous. Hi Mark, what all players do you think we should be selling this summer in order to generate more, says Rahul. Well, we're just talking about that, Rahul, actually. Welcome to the Members Club, Liam. And also, hi mate, how do you give away memberships? Says Fingerless. So if you click on the super chat option, there's two. You can do a super chat or you can gift. So if you're a member, you can do it that way. And welcome to Andy Everson. Thank you very much. I think the logical thing for United to generate... Look, as I said, if you've got 125 million, which is what Erik ten Hag will have, what are you going to spend that on? The cheapest way I could spend 120 million is Timber for 30. I mean, I'm not going to do it. Timber for 30. Nunez for 60. That's 90. I've got 35 million to buy a midfielder. It's tight. It's very tight. 200 million. I'm laughing. So you've got to generate the funds. Dean Henderson's got to go for his own career. And you will get between 25 and 40 for him. Eric Bailly's got to go. You should get 15 million for Eric Bailly, really. So Henderson and Bailly going should get you close to 50. Phil Jones, will you get any money for him? Probably not. Maybe we can sell Pereira for 5. There's another 5, maybe 10 if we're lucky. And really, we do need to. And if we can get rid of Martial, that's wages and maybe. I mean, we might need to sell Martial for as low as 20 million. I mean, I don't know whether you would do it, but I'm thinking with Martial, I completely understand why nobody would buy him because his wages are stupid. We might need to let him go for 20, which is ridiculous for what we paid for him, but it's not what Ten Hag paid for him, and Ten Hag didn't want the contract because he wasn't here. So Frederick says we need a rebuild. One player can hurt, 2 players might not get hurt at the same time. To buy a few, sell and lose many feels dangerous, says Frederick Larson. And hi Mark, do you think the fact that we are getting less information about our targets is a good sign of nicer things happening this time, says Sanka. I think that's a great question. The honest answer is, let me just close this poll. The honest answer on Manchester United's recruitment and why it's not very clear, I don't think it's anything to do with Manchester United becoming more secretive and efficient. It might be partly to do with that, but I think there's a big reason why we're not really sure about who we're looking at, and I'll explain that in a minute. So 58% of you would rather get Phillips and Laimer than go for De Jong on his own. So there we go, we'll close that poll. So I think that the reason that Manchester United at the moment are not closing, that's the wrong word. I think the reason Manchester United at the moment, it's not easy to know who our targets are, is quite simply because Erik ten Hag is in London today, reportedly talking about transfer targets. And therefore, Manchester United cannot finalise their transfer targets when they've not finalised them with the manager and the recruitment team. I said yesterday, United like the look of Richarlison, and he has been mentioned to Erik ten Hag. If Erik ten Hag says, yes, let's get Richarlison, we'll move forward. If he says, no, I'd rather we went for Nkunku, we won't move forward on Richarlison. So there are players that United have been scouting for the last 8 months that they will present to Erik ten Hag, and he will either say yes or no. And hopefully if he says no, he presents his own players that the United will then say yes or no, which really they should be saying yes to. So I think also you've got to take into account Sunday. There are players that we are looking at that may be available after Sunday or may not be available. Calvin Phillips, if he gets relegated, potentially. Richarlison, if he gets relegated, potentially. And then on top of that, you've also got United's situation. If we're in the Conference League, I don't think you can say if we're in the Conference League, we won't be able to get players that we'd get if we were in the Europa League. I don't think that's right. But I certainly think if you want a Frenkie de Jong who wants to play in the Champions League, the Conference League is probably the final straw to say no. If you're in the Europa League, you can say, look, it's 1 year. We intend on being top 4 in the league anyway, and we intend on winning the Europa League, which will get us into the Champions League anyway, so it's 1 year. You can't do that with the Conference League, because you've just basically got to say, look, we intend on getting on the top 4 of the Conference League. What do you get for winning that? I think you get a free holiday or something. So, Sunday, the next few days in the conversations United are going to have with Erik ten Hag, and Sunday, I think by early next week, we'll really start to find out the definitive players that United are looking for. I think you can almost predict it anyway. I think Timber's the priority centre-back, De Jong's the priority midfielder at this moment in time, and Nunez is the priority striker. To be fair, the most dubious one And what I mean by that is I think Timber is concrete number one centre-back target. I think De Jong is concrete number one midfield target. Whether we get them or not, we'll have to wait and see. Nunez, I'm not so sure it's concrete. There may be a surprise there. Everyone thinks it's Nunez, but that could be just a lot of noise from Benfica. We don't necessarily know. We know we're looking at him, but he might not be priority number one. So I think the striker one could change. De Jong needs convincing that's a red flag, says Adam. It's not a red flag, Adam. But it's not a red flag. I'm sorry, it's not a red flag in my opinion. Thank you, Mark, for all the insights and efforts, says Mutterson. Thank you very much. Mark, do you think there is any chance that Ten Hag could come in and like the look of Martial, or do you think it's given that he's leaving? Anything can happen, Ronaldo Goat, but the issue with Martial is that Rangnick wanted him to stay. Rangnick came in December and said, I want you to stay. And God, if he had stayed, we could have used him, considering we only had one bloody striker. But Martial said to Rangnick, I don't want to stay. Nothing to do with you. I've just had enough. I don't want to stay. And why would that change in the summer? I think Martial wants out of Manchester United, and that will be the issue. So, look, goes back to what somebody just said there. Well, if it's a red flag that you've got to persuade somebody to stay or come to United, well, there's Martial. I'm at a point where the players that should not be at the club are sold or just let them go, terminate their contracts. Martial, Bailly, Jones and Hendo, says Akshay. Marcus, welcome to Members Club. Daniel, welcome to the Members Club. And Manu Dave, who's been a member for 15 months, says, I love your show. Really pleased you're staying. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Manu Dave. And Muyad says, I love how the community has good discussions over multiple options Man United can spend on, whereas pundits scream Kane and Rice ad nauseum, says Muyad. Well, it's funny. I heard... I was looking at the Monday Night Football. So Monday Night Football, they were talking about... their Premier League teams of the season, and I don't know who Neville went with, but Carragher definitely put Declan Rice as the holding midfielder, and they both had Harry Kane as the striker. And I was like, it's all about opinion. Somebody in the chat's going to agree, but what a load of nonsense, in my opinion, punditry. Harry Kane as the number 9 in a Premier League team of the season. I'm sorry. Ronaldo scored 18 goals in an absolutely dreadful United side. So I disagree with that. I also think there are other options as well. As for Declan Rice as the holding midfielder, you're having a bloody laugh. A Rodri and Fabinho on holiday. Like, it is. There just is this weird obsession. And I think Gary Neville went on to say that, Harry Kane at United, signed Harry Kane. I don't know what he's thinking about. What we're going to do with Ronaldo? Send him on a saga holiday? Go and have a weekend at Margate. You've retired, mate. It's just that sort of a signing would make no sense for Manchester United. And also, thanks, Gary. You've spent all the budget. We've got no midfield again. Don't matter. We've got Harry Kane, sunshine. No. So, look, I think that it's good to talk. It's good to digest, and it's good to have these conversations. And Harry Kane's a fantastic striker. There's no doubt about it. But he'd be a terrible signing for United, because we blow all the budget on a player that's going to basically compete with our best player. It's like Ronaldo's our best outfield player, and we spend £100 million on a player that plays in his position. What about the rest of the team that's crap? So, yeah. Nimel, thank you. Welcome to the Members Club. And also, what kind, Mark? Just want to say shout for all the United updates. Top tier stuff, says Bondas. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and smash a like on the video. I haven't got I will put a hotter meter out today, says Misbah, and I haven't got an update on... Torres at the moment, but I think that it's really interesting to see how this summer's going to go. The big update is on Laimer. He is available for 20 million euros. His dream is to play in the Premier League. Bayern Munich want him, but Leipzig want to sell to somebody in the Premier League. That's coming from Christian Falk, who is a journalist very close to Bayern Munich, very good on his German transfer stories. So, look, that deal's there to be done if United want to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else did it. I could see him playing for Arsenal or something like that, but I do think it's a deal for Manchester United to go and do. We are back at 2 o'clock. We'll have the latest transfer news, but we've also got a preview show. There is a big game on Sunday. Feels like it's all become about transfers because United haven't played for 2 weeks. But we've got a huge game on Tuesday. We'll have all the latest injury news and who might be starting and how we need to approach it live at 2 o'clock. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Also, in the live chat, thank you very much to all the members. If you want to vote on our latest video exclusively for you, do it on the community tab. Check out the video I put up this morning. It's called Ten Hag's Dream Transfer Window. 5 players, his dream transfer window. It's only 5 minutes long. Click the link at the top of the chat. It will take you directly to that video. Exxon says, Mark, have you seen the Michael Knighton interview? No, I'm going to go and check it out because people keep going on and on and on about it. And Mark, what's the difference between Laimer and Van der Beek? Says RMN. Well, Van der Beek is more of an attacking midfielder. That's where he played for Ajax. So Laimer plays in a midfield too. So there is a difference, unless Van der Beek's going to play deeper, which he can do. So maybe that's why we're not looking at Laimer, to be honest with you. You make a good point, but I think that Laimer and Van der Beek could easily play in the same team, with one more advanced in Van der Beek. But obviously you've got Bruno for that. But Glazer's selling to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, apparently. Do you have any news on this? Absolutely none. Killer Frog. I'm not going to give you fake news on people buying Man United, because I think I'm noticing a lot of people getting excited about something that's not happening. Like, people seem to be thinking about a sale. You're not getting a sale. There's nothing going on about a sale. The Glazers have got no intention of selling at the moment. Now, that can change like that. It can. But people are acting like there's something bubbling up, and there isn't. There's nothing bubbling up at the moment. It's just people. 2 plus 2 is 6. And as we know, 2 plus 2 is Matic. Are you coming to Australia for pre-season? No, I'm not fingerless. So I can definitively tell you I'm not coming to Australia for the pre-season tour because I've got loads and loads of other stuff on. But I'd love to come. But as typically happens with the United stand, best played plans don't get put in place. So me going to Australia is not going to happen, which is very sad. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you check out that video at the top of the live chat. Ten Hag's Dream Transfer Window. It's only 5 minutes long. See if you like it. I'll speak to you at 2. Thanks for watching.